right, so we are going to be discussing your Unit 8 test study guide. So for most of them I have written down the answers, but I am going to go through and discuss some of them with you. So for the first one, explain the difference between a statistical question and a non-statistical question. A statistical question has a range of data, not just one answer. Okay? Number 2. Which data set shows less variability? So this would mean has like a smaller range of values. So we see for data set A, it only goes from 3 to 8. Whereas in data set B, they have numbers going from 1 all the way to 9. So it has a bigger spread. It has more categories of numbers being used. Okay, so the one with the less amount would be data set A. All right, for number 3. This has a lot of different answers, but it says, what could this dot plot be measuring? So for me, I said, oh, this could be the number of hours spent watching TV. So this could have been data collected on that. You could have said something like, you know, the number of hours on your device, or, anything really would have worked. How many nights a week? Well, there's 9, but if there were just 7, how many nights a week you do homework, or just anything that you could come up with as a scenario. All right, number 4, what % of students in this data plot spent more than 5 hours on homework? So hint, there are 25 dots in total. So out of 25, let's see how many dots were over 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'd be 6 students that spent more than 25. So 6 over 25, if you were to change that from a decimal to a percent, put that in your calculator, you would get 0.24, which equals 24%. Okay, so for number 5, we have this data set right here. Most of the values are more to the left, so we consider this skewed to the left. Okay. For number 6, 7, and 8, so these all go back to looking at this dot plot from question 5. So most of the data values in this dot plot are at least 6. And that is true because if you look at it, you see most of the data is below the 6. Okay. Number 7 is about 4 kilograms. Number 8 was true. Okay, if we look at number 9, it says, what would be a typical age for the data in this histogram? So any number that you wanted to list between 50 and 60 would work. I just said 55 years old. So since 50 and 60 has the biggest column, typical age would be in the middle of there somewhere. And then to describe this one, I would say this is more of a normal, because we've got an up and a down. But, you know, we see this, we can consider this like a little bit of an outlier, okay? And remember, mode is the number that occurs most often, so mode would be between 50 and 60. All right, number 11. The average low temperature last week in degrees Fahrenheit, and here are the numbers. What was the average low? So remember, that's finding the mean. The mean is when you add all the numbers up and divide by the total. So there is a total of 7 numbers. So we're going to say 30 plus 35 plus 40 plus 41 plus 42 plus 45 plus 47. And you may use calculators on this test. So and when you add them all up, you should get 280. So 280 divided by 7 is going to equal 40. So our mean is 40. Okay. Number 12. Now what happens when we need to find the mean, but we're missing one of the data sets? So we set it up like we normally would, 90 plus 100 plus 91 plus 93 plus x, because we're missing one of the values. divided by 5 is equal to what we're given is the mean is 92. So we have to solve this like we would equations. So we are going to multiply the 5 by the 92 because the opposite of dividing by 5 to get rid of it is multiplying. So 92 times 5, we're left with equals 460. Now we need to add these numbers together to see what's left on top. So we have 90 plus 100 plus 91 plus 93. So we've got 374 plus x divided by 5. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, but that is all the rain that is coming down right now. So hopefully you can hear this. And then what we've already divided by 5, or we already multiplied by 5, so we're left with the 374 plus x equals 460. We wouldn't have even written that there. And then we get that x, once we subtract, excuse me, once we get 460, subtract 374, you would get 86. X is equal to 86. All right, so now moving on to the back. Okay, number 13. What is the median? So before you can find the median of any set of data, you have to make sure they are in order from least to greatest. So these are actually already in order from least to greatest. So we're going to find the one in the middle. So if we want to, we can start on each end and cross off till we get to the middle. And what happened here is we have two numbers in the middle. So when we have two numbers in the middle, we add them together and divide by 2, which 5 plus 7 is going to be 12, and 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. So we have a median of 6 here. All right, now box plots. Write the 5-number summary of the following. So again, the first thing we have to do is make sure they're in order from least to greatest, which they are. So our minimum is 5, our maximum is 20. And then we can go through and figure out where the middle is. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. So there's going to be 2 numbers in the middle, which is 10 and 11. And if we add them together and divide by 2, we get 10.5 as our median. And remember, to find our quartiles, we've got to split this set of data up and find the middle number of these 5 numbers and find the middle number of these 5. So our middle number, quartile 1, will be 8. And then our middle number for the other set of data will be 15. Remember, pause as you need to. Number 15, I went through and I found out, well, I tried to estimate my minimums, my lower, my median, my upper, my maximum numbers, just so I could see the differences between them. We see that the minimum is lower for plot B, but plot B and plot A both have the same maximum. The median is larger for plot B, lower for plot A, so I just compared those values. Number 16, it is the mean is greater because of the outlier. So you see this outlier here at 16. It will cause the mean to be greater. Okay. 17 and 18. So for 17, we've got A, B, C, D. And then for 18, we've got A and C. 19, A and D. For 20, this is another one I wanted to go over. So what percentage of students in this dot plot spent less than 3 hours on the homework? There are 25 total. So less than 3 hours would be 0 to 2, and if there's 25 total, we're going to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 25, which 10 out of 25 would be 40% when you put this in your calculator. All right. Number 21, which one shows more variability? So you see 1 to 9, we've got a bunch of numbers, and then from here it's just 3 to 8. So more variability would be data set B. For 22, okay, The average low temperatures last week in degrees. Okay, here's the list. What was the average low temperature? So remember that indicates we need to find our mean. So we're going to add all the numbers together. And divide by the total. So 7 total. So 40 plus 42 plus 44 plus 37 plus 35 plus 30 plus 25. 253 divided by 7, which is going to be round to the nearest whole number, so we are going to round to 36 degrees. That's our answer for the mean. All right, 23, the mean would be greater. 24, 6 worms were measured in centimeters. What is the difference in the median and mean lengths? Which seems like a better measure of center and why? So we're going to find both of them. So the mean, remember, we add them all up and divide by, so we've got 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 11 plus 13 plus 14 plus 28, and divide by 7. So the mean is going to equal 12, and the median is going to equal 11, because if you crossed out each one, you'd be left with 11 in the middle. Okay, so what is the difference? There's only a 1 point difference between the mean and the median, so which one seems like a better measure of center? They both would be about the same. You know, if one was a lot higher than the other, you would have to see which one matched better with the data set for, you know, to see which one you thought would be better, but either one of these really would be fine. All right, so that is all for Unit 8 Study Guide. If you need some extra help or you didn't understand a specific question that I didn't go over, make sure you ask me.